Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a really fascinating look at the internal lives, the critical stress points, and, the secret joys of two careers that just define this always on nature of modern work.
We're talking about IT support and digital marketing.
Exactly. And we've had the chance to really step into the shoes of two people, Daniel, an IT support specialist, and Emma, who's a digital marketing manager, just to compare their day-to-day realities.
And on the surface, they seem like they're focused on completely different things.
Hmm.
I mean, one is dealing with the hard logic of networks and code.
And the other is in this unpredictable world of public creativity and algorithms.
Right.
So our mission today is to go beyond those job titles. We want to understand what kind of emotional and, mental labor is actually required to succeed in these fields.
And crucially, what they share. What core challenges do they have in common, even though they seem like they're worlds apart professionally?
It's that contrast, isn't it? Immediate technical problem solving versus this very public, very fluid challenge of creative strategy.
It's so interesting how those two worlds connect, though. I mean, Daniel's job is all about preventing technical failure,
Mm-hmm.
and Emma's is about, well, forcing creative success.
Mm.
And in both cases, the common thread is this relentless, proactive attention. They have to manage high-stakes exposure.
Whether that's a server crashing or a campaign just completely bombing in public.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Let's start by just establishing the daily grind. So Daniel, our IT support specialist, is fundamentally the company's emergency responder.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
His core duties are all about fixing the immediate, the broken, the panicked. So he's helping users whose computers have crashed, whose software just stopped working, or maybe the most stressful thing,
Oh, I know this one.
who's covering files after someone accidentally deletes a massive project.
And that element of crisis management is just, it's so defining. But here's where his day gets really interesting. It's not always this high-level technical genius stuff.
No, not at all. He spends a surprising amount of time on the most, shockingly simple issues.
Absolutely. Think about it. You walk into an office, you find a user who is genuinely distraught, convinced their entire computer is dead.
And Daniel realizes the monitor, it just isn't plugged into the wall.
Right. And the emotional labor required in that moment is just immense. He has to maintain this, professional calm.
He can't roll his eyes, he can't laugh, even though he knows the fix instantly.
No, he has to say with a completely straight face,
Mm.
let me just run a full diagnostic here,
Mm.
while he's, gently pushing the power cord back into the socket.
But that moment, that simple fix, is actually the root of his satisfaction. He says he loves that instant gratification.
I can see that.
When he solves a problem for a super stressed person in just a few minutes, he feels, and this is a quote, like a magician.
That quick resolution, just making things normal again, that's his biggest win.
Exactly. Now let's switch over to Emma's world. As a digital marketing manager, her focus is, it's entirely external. It's future-facing.
Right. So her daily grind involves running online ads, managing a bunch of different social media platforms, and developing the long-term content strategy.
So planning all the posts and campaigns to make sure they hit the right audience.
And what she really loves about it, she says, is the creative side. The constant need for creative output.
Making videos, designing graphics for posts, writing captions that are compelling, that's what keeps her energized.
So if Daniel gets his pleasure from fixing what's broken, Emma gets hers from crafting messages that connect.
That's a great way to put it.
But connecting them back together, you see that constant vigilance is required in both jobs. Daniel is watching the technical systems to prevent failure.
While Emma is watching public engagement, the analytics, trying to preempt social failure and, guarantee success.
And that vigilance, it translates directly into massive amounts of stress.
For Daniel, the IT stress comes from volume and, this is the key, immediacy. He describes getting up to 20 support tickets in his queue all at once.
And we should probably clarify for you, a ticket in IT support is basically a formal request for help, a single problem that needs a fix.
So he's facing 20 completely unrelated high-stress emergencies at the same time.
Yeah, a password reset here, a printer that's broken down, someone's Zoom audio not working, and every single person who sends that ticket thinks their issue is the most important one in the world.
Of course. So how do you even begin to triage that? Does complexity matter more than how many people are affected?
You'd think so, but the sources make it really clear that the prioritization strategy has almost nothing to do with technical severity.
It's all about the org chart.
It's all about hierarchy. Daniel says the CEO's laptop failing instantly becomes priority number one. It doesn't matter if it's a huge failure or just a simple misclick.
Right. Because when the boss has a problem, the whole company feels that ripple effect. That visibility dictates his entire workflow.
It's a really unique kind of administrative pressure.
Okay, now compare that to Emma's stress. Her pressure isn't a system failure. It's high public visibility and what I'd call the tyranny of the metrics.
Yes. The tyranny of the metrics. She's stressed by deadlines that you just can't move, the expectation that every piece of content has to be perfect, and this constant demand that the numbers must go up.
And those metrics are just a relentless taskmaster. She's judged every single day on likes, comments, engagement rate, website traffic.
It's not about creative critique. This is immediate, quantifiable performance data.
And if those numbers stall, or even worse, if they drop just a little bit, the scrutiny starts right away.
It's a completely different kind of anxiety.
Mm.
For the marketing team, a dip in engagement isn't some technical glitch. It's a potential failure of the business investment.
That's where the boss comes in hard.
Yeah.
Emma has to face that really intense question, what's happening? Why are people not engaging with this?
And the failure isn't technical. It's based on visibility. Or, ultimately it's financial. The money being spent on that ad campaign is suddenly in question.
It's the difference between managing a technical cue and managing public opinion, which is it's so much less predictable.
And speaking of things that are profoundly stressful, let's dig into the core frustrations, the things that really get under their skin.
Right. We've covered the general stress, but what's the worst part of the job for each of them?
For Daniel, it's this double whammy of dealing with user mistakes and then getting blamed for the problem that results.
He specifically mentioned forgotten passwords, which is, a completely preventable problem, or physical damage, like someone spilling coffee all over a keyboard.
And he says users get angry at him for issues they actually created. They expect him to be a miracle worker to recover a coffee-soaked laptop in, 5 minutes.
So he feels like he's being held responsible for things totally outside his control. He's the scapegoat for user error.
Yeah, he's dealing with anger that's directed at a broken system.
Yeah.
Emma, on the other hand, deals with anger that's directed at her output.
Exactly. For Emma, the biggest frustration is that instantaneous, just raw negativity you find online.
That creative stuff she pours all her energy into is immediately exposed to this unbridled public criticism. She specifically mentioned having to deal with keyboard warriors.
She's basically a toxicity manager.
Pretty much.
But when things go right, the triumph is incredible in both fields. For Emma, the biggest win is brainstorming a creative idea and then watching a campaign just go viral.
Oh, yeah. That high-octane public validation has got to be addictive.
We saw a specific example. One of her videos hit 3 million views.
Wow.
And the ultimate validation came when her boss called her at 11 p.m., way after hours, just to shout, "Great job!" down the phone.
That's such a specific moment of recognition. It shows that even the boss understands how unpredictable and, all-consuming viral success is.
Now, contrast that public spectacle with Daniel's triumph. His is much more personal and immediate.
Right. It's that quiet satisfaction of solving an urgent problem and just restoring calm to a person who was freaking out a minute ago.
It's a moment of human relief. It's restoring order, not a public parade of millions of views.
And that leads us perfectly into the heaviest shared burden of these two roles, the always connected challenge. It's so clear that both IT support and digital marketing just destroy any sense of work-life boundaries.
This is a dilemma that I think unites most of us in knowledge work today, but the sources make it clear that in these jobs, constant connectivity isn't a side effect. It's an inherent requirement.
Daniel's issue is what you could call the predictable unpredictability of IT failure. His phone is just always on.
He gets texts on the weekend. The example given was, "Hey, Daniel, my email isn't working," on a Sunday morning.
And the expectation is that if a system fails, he has to respond instantly. Doesn't matter what day it is.
He even admitted he tried using airplane mode just to get a few hours of peace, but he found out pretty quickly that his manager's expectation of being reachable made that a job-threatening move.
His life is basically governed by the risk of system failure.
Right. And Emma deals with that connectivity too, but hers is more project-driven. Her time gets stolen by deadlines.
She has these highly unpredictable hours, especially when she's working all these extra hours during a product launch or, chasing a specific metric.
So her time is stolen by the business cycle, whereas Daniel's is stolen by technical failure.
And if we connect this back to you, the listener, it's clear that managing your personal time in these roles is just extremely difficult. the need for instant support.
Whether that's for a broken printer or a viral post that suddenly needs moderation.
Right. That need is built into the company's structure.
Yeah.
You aren't selling 8 hours of your day. You're selling your constant availability.
So let's end by looking forward.
Yeah.
Given this intense daily grind, where do Daniel and Emma see themselves going from here?
For Daniel, the IT support guy, his interest is definitely shifting towards a deeper technical specialization.
He sees his current role as necessary groundwork, but his real aspiration is to become a cybersecurity specialist.
And that transition, it's not just about a title change. It's about moving from reactive problem-solving, fixing things after they break, to proactive system defense.
It requires a ton of high-level certifications, understanding complex threat modeling.
And moving into a field where that technical depth is really rewarded. Which, yeah, also comes with a pretty significant financial bonus. It's a clear path toward technical mastery.
And what about Emma?
Her vision is completely entrepreneurial. She wants to go from managing marketing for one company to starting her own digital agency.
Creating content and managing social media for a whole portfolio of brands.
Exactly. It shows this real entrepreneurial drive, a desire to work for herself. She wants to control the creative output and the client relationships directly.
And probably she's motivated by wanting to control her own schedule and her own performance metrics, getting away from that single corporate structure.
It's a fascinating contrast, isn't it? Daniel is chasing hyper-specialization inside a structured environment, while Emma is chasing total freedom through entrepreneurship.
But what's so interesting is that they both see their current high-pressure jobs as completely valuable stepping stones.
Absolutely. It's the foundation. That's where they're getting the knowledge and experience they need for that next bigger goal.
Ultimately, what the sources reveal is that despite the intense stress, the long hours, and all the connectivity challenges, both of them feel a deep sense of job satisfaction.
And that's because they genuinely enjoy their specific types of learning and growing. For Daniel, it's the technology and restoring order. For Emma, it's the creative freedom and public engagement.
That enjoyment of the core activity is what makes the emotional investment feel meaningful.
So, to recap, we've seen that IT relies on solving technical emergencies, managing user frustration, and prioritizing based on hierarchy.
While marketing navigates creativity, aggressive deadlines, and the completely unpredictable nature of going viral. But the common thread is that both demand constant emotional labor and this intense prioritization that goes way beyond a typical 9-to-5.
What really stands out to me is that true career satisfaction, even in these incredibly demanding jobs, it comes down to enjoying the core activity. Whether you get that magician feeling from fixing a broken system,
Or you get that rush from seeing your creative work reach millions of people. It's about feeling useful in your own unique way.
we've seen that both IT support and marketing provide this really unique satisfaction. But they both require immense emotional investment and, connectivity.
So the question for you is this. If success in these fast-paced sectors means giving up control of your personal time, what's the true measure of career growth? Is it specialization, like Daniel's pursuit of cybersecurity mastery? Or is it entrepreneurial freedom, like Emma's dream of running her own agency? Which strategy provides the best return on that constant investment of your availability?